All right, lesson 14, page 121, continuing to get a little more in depth with angles here. It says find the measure of JGH. That is this one right here. And actually what we're going to be doing today is to figure out all the angles that are there, which I think we could be able to do without even knowing anything about this lesson. Anybody have an idea without measuring what JGH is? Yes. Why? Yes, it is 150 because these two, notice it makes a nice straight angle, right? A straight line makes 180 degrees. So those are called adjacent angles. Angles that are next to each other are called adjacent, just like if I'm walking next to somebody, we're walking adjacent. Okay, 150. How about HGI? Why? Yes, vertical, remember, are across from each other. They are equal. Or you could say these will have to make a straight angle again. They have to add up to 180. Either way, you're going to get the same answer. You got one left. Bottom one. What do you think? Leighton? Why? Yeah, vertical angles across from each other are equal. It's got to equal 180. They all got to add up to 360. No matter how you cut it, we can get all those angles, and there's multiple ways to get there. Number 2, it says find and label a second 30 degrees. We found them all, so we answered all those questions. We are on to the next one. If you have two parallel lines and it's sliced by a third line, that third line is called a transversal. Okay, all it does is cut a set of parallel lines in half, and we got all kinds of angles there. So I would start on this one, just like we did on the previous page. Can you get all these angles? And then once you do, can you figure out what these are? So there are 7 question marks there. I would like you to see if you can answer all 7 missing angles. And once you do, go ahead and check with a partner, somebody close to you, and see if they agree. So 7 missing angles, I'll give you a minute or 2. All right, you check with somebody close to you. All right, Zoe, give me one. Where? Why? What's the reason? Yes, it does. That's got a special name. Angles across from each other are called Starts with a V, ends in vertical. Yes, vertical angle, 63, very good. Next one, Othniel, give me one. Where? Here? Why? Do you know why? Help them out? Claire. Yep. That's right. Either way you look at it, it makes a straight angle, straight line, 180 degrees. Another one, Parker.
117 washing the other side.
Why?
Because it's the same as the other part.
Vertical angle with the one across from it adds up to 180. All adds up to 360. Your choice. Wyatt.
Say
How about top, left, right, bottom?
bottom
Okay.
E 60
Why?
because it's a vertical angle.
Ooh, we don't know that one though. Be vertical angle with this one. Now that would be corresponding actually. This angle and this angle have to be the same because they are parallel lines. They're in the same spot. So they are both 63. So I would say they're in a corresponding location. They are corresponding angles. Corresponding angles are equal. And once we have one again, they are all the same. Right? Corresponding, you could say this is corresponding. You could say it makes 180. However you'd like to describe that. But they're all the same. So once you have one, you should be able to get them all. Same thing here. Fill them all out. Okay, remember to label degrees. Go ahead and check yours. Make sure it doesn't look like 340 degrees and so on. But yeah, pretty simple. Once you have one, you can get the other 7. You're going to see those quite a bit. And once you get the process down, they are not too difficult. Next page, 124. Let me try this one. This one is a little different than previous. What's different about number 4?
Lines are
The
parallel.
lines are not parallel. That means these sets of angles will not be exactly the same. You can't just copy it. Okay, vertical angle 63 and 63. 63 and what adds up to 180? 117. Okay, so now I cannot just put a 63 here because they're not parallel. So 108 and what, Ian? 72. 72. 108. So that is the first one that we've done that wasn't exactly parallel. So don't just get used to copying them both to being the same. That only works if they're parallel lines. Okay, we already answered 5. What is different about those? That one was not parallel. Taking a look at the Are You Ready? Kind of an interesting challenge problem here. We need to figure out what x is. And there are a couple different ways to do so. Do you know how many degrees are in a triangle? Yes, 3 angles. What do they add up to? Like a circle is 360, right? What's a triangle add up to? 180. Triangles always equal 180 degrees. Okay, keep that in mind. So I need to figure out what x is. And probably the easiest, I know this is 55, that means this has to be 55, right? Vertical angle across from it. Knowing that they have to add up to 180, 60, 55, and what adds up to 180? So 60 and 55 is 115. 115 plus what adds up to 180? 65. So now they add up to 180. And of course, x has to be the same because it's across, it's vertical. So your answer there would be 65. Okay, a new term here for you. It says alternate interior angles are congruent. What are alternate interior angles? I'm not going to measure this, but I'm going to say if this is 120 degrees, alternate interior means it's inside of our shape, just on the opposite side. Okay, so that would be this angle. That is called alternate interior. They're on the opposite sides of each other. They are inside of our shape. So that is another term for you to use. And then you could have filled out all the rest again as you went. But that is another option for you. Question 2, in this picture, lines L and K are no longer parallel. M is the midpoint. Does your argument in the earlier problem apply to this situation? Okay, that is saying, is this angle and this angle still congruent, even though those aren't parallel? So why don't you trace this one and check it with this guy and see if they are congruent. So this angle and this angle, alternate interior, are they still congruent? What do you think?
No.
No. Okay, so once again, that only works if the lines are parallel. Only works if the lines are parallel. Okay, summary again, good representation of what we did today. If it gives you one angle, you should be able to get the rest. Review of the terms, two parallel lines cut by another. It is called a transversal. That is the name of this line cutting the parallel lines. Alternate interior would be like 6 and 4. They are opposite on the inside. And 5 and 3 would be alternate interior as well. They are equal if the lines are parallel. So just another term to throw in your toolbox, if you will. Taking a look at the homework. It does ask you to find the angles. M just means a measure. What is a measure of angle ABC? What is a measure of EBD? And so on. Please explain why. Why do you know that is correct? Don't forget to do that for number 1. It does say explain. Okay, why? So watch for that word. And it is only 4 questions. It does go on to page 130. Okay, 1 through 4 for tomorrow.